Okay, just running a quick test here, guys. We're thankfully going to be starting up the interview series again, and more than anything, I just want to make sure that this is something very usable, something that people
Just
find
running a
value
quick
in.
test here, guys. We're thankfully going to be.
So it looks like so far that I'm getting good feedback here. A few second delay. In the meantime, I'm going to be sitting here playing with this, and any of you out there that are watching this and just want to ask questions or whatever, just feel free to hit me with them. I'm going to sit here and work and test this stuff out and refine this stuff even more, such as how do I get rid of the Zoom logo there, et cetera, et cetera. Might pull somebody in to test the back and forth because I really want to make sure that we're doing this interview series coming up. We are basically, showcasing the best of the best. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and also test this on the live side, because one of the things I'm noticing on Zoom, for example, I notice looks like it's adjusting my color a bit here, and I do not want that. So let's go to my video and see if I can figure this out. I know my mic is very low on power as well, so we're going to be switching over to computer audio here. So you're going to notice the microphone change. Again, I will do my best to monitor the comments here if anybody pops in just as I'm testing this. Answer any questions, happy to do so. Let's see here. There's a way for me again to remove that Zoom logo. So hopefully we can do that. That'd be really great. Because I see that on the feed and I do not like that. It's kind of nice, but it could be better served with my logo there for sure. That'd be really great. Because I see that on the feed and I do not like that. Also very casual, smoking as well. Kind of nice, but it could be better served with my logo there for sure. That'd be really great. Because I see that on the feed and I do not like that. All right, let's see. So it looks like we've got that going here. All right. I'm going to see if I can also, through our good friend OBS here, get a stream, go ahead and start it on Facebook. So we'll give that a try too, and just going to see basically what I can do here, right? So fun thing for those of you that use OBS, which is like the online broadcast system, basically. It's interesting. I've had the most. It worked fluidly for me for months, and now I'm just finding it's getting more and more difficult, basically, for this thing to do its own thing. So, working through those fun things right now, you've got to love that, just dealing with technical difficulties, and I'm a camera guy that goes on site, lights, all that stuff. So for me, to dealing with streaming is a whole new game, basically. So you gotta love that. That being said, none of anyone's popped in at all, so which is no worries at all for me personally. Don't need continuity cam. Again, keep an eye on the feed, not seeing anyone, so that's cool. Oh wait, 3 watching now. Okay, for the 3 of you watching, if you have any questions, just let me know. Again, this is just me setting up and testing, utilizing Zoom on OBS, and seeing right now how I can get rid of this Zoom logo. I'm just doing some troubleshooting But if you have questions, anything along the way, let me know. I'm always down to chat and help out in any way. Understand there is a delay as well, and I'm kind of got multiple screens open here, so if I don't catch you right away, I will. I promise. I just, like I said, have a lot of different screens on here right now, which is fun to juggle, of course. So let me see. Again, guys, if you're just tuning into this is just a test and setting this up. I'm kind of doing Ask Me Anything along the way. You can see I'm very casual right now. You're going to see me hitting the vape and, doing silly shit as I'm working on this, but feel free to, basically ask anything that you're curious about, anything I can help you with. So feel free to do that, please. There we go. Okay, so it looks like I need to go back to my Zoom web portal here. Again, we're going through diagnostics together here. Isn't this fun? So let's see. Again, just keep an eye on that chat. If you guys are curious about anything, this is just a test. This is just me testing Zoom and all this. So it's not going to be anything too exciting, but feel free again to ask questions if you have any at all. At the moment, like I said, I'm just trying to find the old, I'm going to transfer this over to my Mac, find the old Zoom find the old Zoom settings here in the back end to get that Zoom logo out of future videos. Let's go into here. Yup. So I need to go to branding. All right, navigation pen, new mobile navigation panel, click advanced. Branding. Yep, I totally get that, but you're not telling me what I need to see here, Zoom. Click meetings and webinars. There is no meetings and webinars. It's like advanced app marketplace. I don't need that marketplace. Branding. I think it's trying to tell me that I can't take this watermark off unless I shell out Zoom more money, which I've shelled them out, I think, for my pro account here. So I use it so much. I'm pretty sure I've shelled them out enough money already. Not really looking to do that. So hopefully there is a better solution to that. I want to quickly say as well, thank you if you are watching this. Thank you for all the support. It's really cool to see this channel actually turning into something people care about. I put 8 years into this. No one really seemed to care. I mean, it kind of grew even more while I was away. And to come back to this, like after stepping back for like 4 years, and people are tuning in, they care, we're, helping products and helping people out, and I'm providing more and better content, I feel personally, than ever. And hearing that feedback from viewers, that really means a lot. So thank you very much for that. Thank you. And actually, come to think of it, I'm going to vanish for a moment here, folks. I'm going to plug in the old microphone, and you're going to see me in my most basic form. Mm-hmm. Where is a USB-C? So I have to go downstairs for this. All right. Back again. Sorry if there was a... Oh, here we go. Thoughts on loops and thread work. Dude, I've got actually great thoughts on this because, well, not great thoughts, not me personally, but like, yeah, so loops are always something I wanted to really love, but never quite could fall in love with. They'd vanish. They, not in the good way. They would, they'd break. It was a nightmare. And then I bought the Tarantula 2, really hoping, again, it's going to be this practical device I can use and, have an EDC, and kind of disappointing. I've got the box right here, but the reels are downstairs. We've got a review coming soon for these guys. This is old news, but the Venom thread system, though it's not like the most invisible thread in the world, this thing is to quote my friend G from Illusionist, a slam banger. It's just so good. There's so much useful stuff, in Venom, and it's all. And the best part about it is like I feel like when you buy loops or you buy, a thread reel, you only kind of get those standard old effects. There is a really cool book somewhere in my library where I know there's some cool, compelling stuff. Let's see if I can find it. It's a yellow book. I know that. I bought it years and years and years ago. Oh, let's see. Oh, yes. Yeah. Here it is in the pamphlets. Jesus, I'm throwing my original Daryl's Card Revelations VHS, the first one that got me started, on the floor, signed by the man before his passing. So here are these pamphlets. This is a cool trick. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That was a cool one. I have a lot from that series. I remember I was given this as a gift. I never read it. Maybe I have to go back and do that now. Again, Ymir Yedid, big fan. Wow, that's an oldie right there. That was a book I had so much expectation for, and I just never used a fucking thing out of it. Oh, this was a gift, I remember. And I know I'm getting off topic, but this is the book itself. And this is the original book on hypnotism that I bought, which I threw in the garbage, and it missed the can, and I was moving stuff around one day. I found it and read it again and started doing hypnosis based on it when I was like 16, 17 years old when I first got into it. But this book was really good. I remember back in the day. This is the basic reel, but I feel like there's something in here. There's some really good stuff. Who was it that did this? Oh, it was by David Blevins. This is a local. He used to own the Magic and Joke shop just down the road from me. It's just long gone. Long gone. That's where I got this at. So I remember he was really into thread work. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here, from like the floating ring to the napkin row, the floating napkin rows, rising card. I feel like there was something in here that was really, really interesting. I'm trying to remember where it is. For thread work though, man, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is just, yeah, like this PSI pencil, things like that were, I remember being really interesting. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to read this again now that I'm back into thread. There's some cool stuff in here. I still think that the best, and now bearing in mind, I took a long break from thread. I kept trying to get back into it. When I was hanging out with the old Dirty Bird gang, who, back in the day before everything, I would say, what am I trying to say here? I remember seeing Nick Lacapo do some thread work, and I'm like, damn, that's incredible. I want to be able to do that. Look at that. Holy crap. But I had this, I'm just lazy, to put it honestly, my hungry and hungover friend. So I really wanted a hookup that was great. And I thought I found that in the Low Sander hookup. For those of you that never owned Art of Levitation by Low Sander, some great stuff in there, like really good stuff. And he had a hookup with an elastic, and I used it and I learned some of the bubble magic when I was in my really early teens. It's how I spent kind of my free time, my rainy days in the summer, was just like learning bubble magic and trying to do that. And I just remember getting frustrated and basically saying, fuck it, I don't like this. And like I said, before these Venom reels, I got the Tarantula 2. Cool, great on paper. I don't have tremendous hands. Like, I'm not a big guy. I think I look a lot taller than I am. I'm maybe like 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. So, to give you an idea, and then my hands are pretty small. Like, to give you an idea, I've got a guitar here. For those who've seen guitars and know guitars to reference, there's a struggle to hit some of these chords for me. It's out of tune, you can tell too. But like for these kind of chords, where I have to wrap my thumb around, man, that is a challenge, so, and there's a lot of stuff too where you need to do things like that. I can barely do that. A lot of the cool card work out there, I can barely do. And moral of the story being, like, this, man, that tarantula, it don't look good in my hand. I'll tell you what now. And that pressure gimmick on it is just too hard. Doesn't have as much response. So again, and yeah, Flawless, I see you right there. I had that same experience. Loops is broke on me. I mean, all threads, let's get something straight here. I'm not saying that like this is the ultimate. I think it's the best answer for me. And when I go in the review and do it here soon, you'll understand. But above anything else, guys, like, if you're going to get into thread, prepare for a lot of fears, a lot of frustration, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And also be prepared to probably look like an idiot a few times. Like, no matter how good you are, every once in a while, boop, you're just going to run into something awful. And then you're also going to have to get an understanding of how light works, right? And it's a whole like separate thing from what we normally focus on in Magic, guys. And getting back into it now, and like I've had like Venom for like 3 weeks now, and the flying ring, the time stop, there's some great stuff in there as well on the side of different effects you can do. You can do a lot of traditional hookup stuff with it too, which I find interesting. You move larger objects, which I don't really have a lot of interest in doing, but that option's there. I just find that I found personally getting back into it now with an older and more experiential, not quite as dumb and brazen and still EDC minded kind of thing. What's good about Venom is, like, when I wear it out, I put them in the tops of my pockets, or I put them in my back pockets, and it loops around me. So I just reach down and grab that thing, and I'm into whatever I need. Like, it's so quick and it's so reliable and durable. You'll still have snags. It's going to happen, guys, but it's one of those things. Flawless hit tarantulas, your first ever product, bro. I bet you were looking to really. I bet you're crying after that one. I bet you almost gave up because that's how I felt. Like I've got my tarantula. I played with it yesterday. I still think it's a cool thing. I want to make it work for me, but it's just not a good fit. It just doesn't do what I had hoped it would do. Essentially, hopefully that makes sense. Again, guys, we're on a delay, so if your question comes in and you're like, why is he not answering me? It's because we're on a delay, so I can see your question real time, but dude next to the chat box is like 10 or 15 seconds behind, just so you know. So let's see here. Flawless, what's your favorite way going into an inject? Okay, so first off, I downloaded the inject with the intention of buying it, and then I decided, holy crap, I bought like 4 magic apps. Slow down. So I have it on my phone. I have not bought it yet. I've just got the app. I have not bought a login or anything. I can tell you from like Wikitest, which I think applies, what a really good way is. So, and for the love of God, guys, don't buy the Murphy's thing. It's a fake 6th finger with one of these, like an NFC tag on it. I don't want to take away from the creators or say it's stupid, but if we crawl to the top of the magic food chain to really find, come on now, catch that focus. Come on, girl. There we go. Are we really too scared to just finger palm one of these to get into someone's phone? Like, come on, guys, really? Come on, Murphys. But anyway, what this is, if you don't know, Flawless, this is an NFC tag. And these are extremely, extremely useful. So let's see if I have any preloaded. My desk is a mess, everyone, so apologies. Man, where is this? Let's see if I can find where are the ones I had pre-written here. Let's see if I can show this like real time. But, okay, I don't see any of the ones I had pre-written, and if they are here, they are buried somewhere under the mound of hard drives and assorted oddities here on my desk. So I'll give you the base idea. So what an NFC tag does, if you don't know, is you just give it a boop, a tap like that, or a tap at the right spot. You program it, say with your link for Inject, Wikitest, whatever, and you can go into it that way. Now with Wikitest, I know I love Greg, and he's gone over me so many times. It's so funny. He's been telling me for years about this app, and I'm like, that's cool, man. But I was so not into apps and not wanting to touch them for so long until recently. But like, it's one of those things. Like with this, you can just kind of have this in your pocket. And you can just say, do you mind if I borrow your phone for a second, or, whatever, and you can just tap it to that, or even say, can you pull up Google for me? Okay, cool. Do you mind if I search something really quick? And you just tap it with that, tap one button, and you say, that's cool, right? I'm gonna search something here, and you can go in, do your bit. This is useful. Like I said, I'm not fully in sync with Inject, even though Greg showed me a lot of stuff over the years and demoed it for me multiple times. Greg Rustami is just a phenomenally positive and nice guy. Really, really like Greg. But for something like, first I tried that, my tarantula clicker was just, yeah, Flawless. I get it, man. It's a temperamental thing. I tried to adjust mine too, and I still found it was just like, bullshit. So, yes, there is some. I don't know. I don't know Androids, but I know on iPhone at least there is a notification sound. And the way you do that is you say, "Hey, can I borrow your phone for a second?" And you just hold down that button. And let's see if I can here. Actually, see if I can do this. And I know you're going to think, but won't they notice that? Trust me, man, don't run when you're not being chased. That's the biggest fault of magicians, in my opinion, is we run when we're not being chased. We do that a lot, and it's not just you. It's not just it's everyone. Every magician really does it. So let's see. I'm just adjusting my screen here. There we go. Great. So let me turn this on Do Not Disturb so that way no notifications can come in here. All right, so let me switch this over. So literally when you take that phone from them, so can I use Scooble for a second? Just hit that button. You'll see it turns the volume down, and then you go in and tap like that as you adjust it and boom and hit and boom, 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 and you're good from there. Oh, yeah, for those of you that are curious, I love Paul Simon. But let's get off this so nothing weird comes in that is a little too personal. So there we go. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully, I mean, the biggest thing is, man, I don't know a lot of that side of things. I know for Wikitest, I'm super enjoying not having to really have the phone out. My biggest blunder right now is I need to memorize what we call the MOBAT words. Basically, I need to memorize the words and the revelation and all that stuff, right? That's really what I need to buckle down and do. And yeah, so oh yeah, no worries, man. Totally happy to give input. I bought the Viper wallet. Justification is hard, so I learned billet peaks. Yeah, man, I'm gonna say that if 90% of the time when I'm doing a billet peak, I'm using Peekaboo, another really good one. And it's not a peak, it's a move and it's an open read and it looks really good. And it's actually, I haven't used it in a while, but now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to do this again. My favorite one lately has been the Louis Laval over the top. OTT is what it's called. Look it up. It's 1914's got it. OTT is just brilliant. It doesn't look like much. Like you think like there's no fucking way this is gonna fly for spectators. But dude, I've done this under like the most hardened of skeptics and pulled off OTT. And I'm not like some super dynamic performer, to be honest. I'm just a dude that's a hobbyist and loves magic. And if I can pull off OTT, anybody can. But it's a really good one. I hope that you find it, and it helps you out. I think it's really great, really, really great. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. If it gives you any clarity or anything, let me know. Pardon, guys, I am going to be casual and smoke during this. And I'm going to get back in here for just 1 second while we have a break from questions here, just to see if I can figure out how to remove this Zoom logo on here. So removing Zoom logo from live stream. Okay. It's getting tasting bad and getting low. Might be time for a little change in the coil. Okay, what helps me get over performance anxiety when it comes to strangers, as a hobbyist? That's tough, man. I've always got a lot of performance anxiety, honestly. Like I said, I'm not a dynamic performer, man. I'm really good when it comes to feeling out when it's right. Because I'll be honest with you, I'll go out a lot of times, all this EDC stuff. Like, my wallet is packed up. Like and by the way, this is my favorite wallet. And if you want a justification for your Viper, by the way, I don't know if Viper works, the way like this one does, the Hermes. If you go to like a business networking thing, or you go out and you have a business conversation, one of the things I like to do is just say, hey, it's going to sound, I'll open up and get some good conversation. I'll say, hey, you know, I always have this little weird, I always do these like little weird challenges, and it's like kind of like to have fun. Would you mind if would you want to basically test me real quick or whatever? I'm half-assing that right now, but you basically tell them, hey, one of the things I like to do is I like to kind of get to know somebody and see if I can understand a little bit more about them and have, you know, something to shoot for. Because obviously, just like in marketing, or I'll link it to what I do for a living, or just like in anything, anything you can measure, you can improve. So I'll say, you know, do you mind, just get out of the way now, can we exchange business cards? Before we exchange business cards, would you mind, you know, taking this and just making me a quick drawing on the back? It just came out of my Ditto. Where's the ball at? Yep, there she blows. But I'll just ask that. I'll say, can you just make me a quick drawing? I'll say, perfect. And then it's natural. I'm like, I don't want to see what it is, but I'll just tuck it, you know, back in the proper place, and it's good to go. And I'll just let it sit there, and I'll conversate with them. I'll let them forget about it, honestly. And you know what the thing is, man, above all else, I would say feel out, you know, I would say feel out in situations, because the problem is this, right? I feel, and I went on this a little while back in another video, and I think that you probably saw this. There's this thing in magic where we want to feel special. And like I agree and disagree with like someone great like Bob Cassidy. We had a conversation this when I met him years ago. Like a spectator's a mind reader effect is super powerful. There's no question about that. But you know, one of the things he kind of brings up is, yeah, but you know, it kind of detracts from your abilities as the performer. And I'm just not the kind of guy that I actually appall people that go out of their way and above and beyond to try and be special. I think that the most special people in the world don't try; they just exist. And you know, I think a lot of the problems we have in the world come from people like struggling and flailing to be special. And you know, regardless of how people feel about that, you know, with the great information technology and stuff we have today, people feel like they need to put their special on blast big time. And that's one of the reasons why it's kind of weird coming back to this, because I didn't feel like I had anything to share for a long time. And now I'm finding out I guess I do, according to other people, which is really a gift. But long story short, if you do a spectator as a mind reader, then, you know, the idea is to make them special, but mostly falls back on you. I think the important compromise there is don't make yourself special, don't make them special. A lot of the stuff I do, like if I'm doing, you know, something that is, a lot of stuff I like to do is kind of off the cuff, or I like to open something off the cuff. Like, you know, if you want, like, I hate to be like kind of cute about it, but like one of the things I think that I love doing as an opener lately, and this goes back to thread, if you just do Venom, and I'll say, guys, I came up with the best prank to do at the grocery store. I made a reel about this in a YouTube short the other day. So you can, so what I do basically is say, this is the best prank when you go to the grocery store. Check this out. This just messes people's heads up. You're going to love this. All you need is a ring to do it. So what you do is go to the grocery store and you grab all your stuff. You wheel your cart up to the front stand and just talk to the cashier, you know, and during that time, you just casually take your ring off, and they're expecting you to explain what it is you're going to do. And then what I do is basically I let go of the ring and it floats across. And as I say, like, you know, I'll tell them like, and then what you do is, right? So you take the ring off. So now what you do is this. They come to that point where you're chatting and they say, okay, it's $50. You, oh, $50. I reach down, touch my pockets, go, okay, hold on. I let go of this ring and it does the floating ring. I'm not set up for right now. And I touch the other pockets, just act like nothing happened and go, oh, sorry, I seem to have left my wallet out in the car. Do you mind if I go get it? And this is a true thing. I will actually do this to cashiers and stuff. It's so much fun to do. And it's so funny. And the ultimate out for that is, you know, just pull your phone out and use Apple Pay instead, or just if, you know, and the fun thing is see if they catch it. Some spectators don't catch it, or there's some spectators that catch it, some spectators that don't. but it doesn't put you as special. It doesn't put them as special. It makes a moment that's special. It's like it makes them question the reality for a second, right? I love openers like that. So I can't remember where we rabbit holed from that, but anxiety. Yeah, but when you open something like that, it's kind of casual and introduces what you do with a one-off thing. It's a lot easier. The other thing that's really important is just to gauge where you're at. Like, I would say that 90% of the time, when I think to myself, oh, I'd love to do an effect right now, what my brain does is it goes, okay, where are we at? And you have to evaluate, where does is the conversation, one, do you have the rapport built up to have an ask, or is it going to make you look like a dancing bear? But two, is the conversation that you're having more powerful than the effect you do? Would it just be better to pursue the conversation? And I find myself more often than not just pursuing the conversation, because I think that's really what people want more than anything. We have this gift to share, and we can try all we want to bait people or work up the nerves to approach people. I'm not very good at that personally, if I'm being honest. I will say this, a tip I got from a sales book. My favorite sales book, though, it's called The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. I talk about it way too much, and I know I do, is if you want to basically have your best self forward and hedge the bets towards those nerves, what you do is this. You go get, I need to buy one myself. We're going to say this is it. There's this stuff, it's a little canister. This is not it, it's just a battery, but there's this little canister of stuff called Boom Boom. No, that's not code, because the Wolf of Wall Street guy is the one that wrote Way of the Wolf. It's not code for going skiing. Don't do that stuff. But what he does is whenever he hits a level 10 certainty, that's a powerful position, is a level 10 certainty. So when you have a level 10 certainty, it's easier to get somebody else to level 10 certainty when you're in it as well, without yourself, right? So, yep, use my promo code, dude. I already ordered mine. I love it. I use my promo code too. Boop, so good. It's JAKOB Michaels, feel free. But yeah, man, so this Boom Boom is a very strong, pungent citrus stuff. Let's see if I can screen share here. Maybe we can find it together. Yes, let's do that. Video capture device. Let's do. No, sorry guys, I'm just setting this up on the fly, but I feel like it's important. Yeah, here we go. Turn that one off. Okay, let me switch into this. All right, so you guys can see, wow, it's a trippy effect, isn't it? Look at that. But let's go into Amazon here. This stuff called Boom Boom, and it's just a potent citrus, nasal stuff basically, but it's very, very, very strong. So this is it right here, this Boom Boom nasal stick. So let me tell you what you do. So what you do is you carry this on you everywhere for a good period of time, everywhere in general once you get this. So what you do is whenever you deliver a performance that is boom, perfect, you're in this peak state, you can feel like the energy rushing through you. What you do is you grab this Boom Boom, you take the top off and just give it a sniff. You're not snorting anything, you're just giving a big deep inhale of that. And mellow out. I'd give one more, mellow out, and then keep that. Every time you hit that state, and you have that thing happen, do that. What that is going to anchor that feeling, that state. This is a little deeper game than your standard, oh yeah, just tell them, you just do this double lip. It's a little more deep in that game than that, right? This comes from sales world and power sales and things that really work. And I'm a complete skeptic on the NLP stuff, but this is part of that 10% NLP that is not bullshit. So if you do this and you like I said, just pick some of this stuff up. It's called Boom Boom. It's a nasal stick. It's actually fairly more expensive for three of them, I thought. But this stuff right here, just every time you hit a peak state of 10 out of 10 certainty, confidence, just give it a whiff. And then what you'll find is whenever you just give it a whiff from a neutral state or a negative state, it'll bring you there. I know it's not probably the answer you're looking for. Maybe it is. And I know it sounds like bullshit, but trust me, give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's something I'm integrating into what I do right now. Yeah. What's the floating ring called? That is what you're going to basically be doing with Venom. So pick up it's the Venom system. If you want 10% off of it, I know I'm over utilizing this, but you can actually go in and use promo code JAKOB, Michaels, all one word, and you'll get 10% off Venom. It's a $200 system, but exclusive to Illusionist, but it's so good. And then the French magicians on it, like I have so much respect for French magicians between Argent and Venom, like holy crap. And then of course I've always loved David Stone, huge hero. So great to meet him a few years ago. He was actually my last Penguin Live before I put the kibosh on dealing with them anymore. And yeah, man, but really, really, really love that stuff. Oh, I'm showing the back end here. Let me switch back to just full me. There we go. So yeah, again, guys, if you're watching this is kind of like a Ask Me Anything. And yeah, that's great. Iron Creek positive states, they didn't make sense. Great, great, great. Floating ring is called Flying Ring in the Venom Project. Like I said, use that promo code if you want to do it. It's fucking great. Like, I'm sorry about the language, boys and girls, but it's fucking great. It's one of the best. It's really it's helped me do thread work, and I've been blowing people away from it. Like literally, like my best friend the other day, I just did it really quick to him, and he's like, oh my God, that is literally one of the best things I've ever seen you do. And I've force pushed the guy, like straight up done, like some psycho magic force pushing, and taking control of his hand, and this flying ring that takes less than 5 seconds to do is one of the best things he claims ever seen. So it passes my best friend test, in a way, which is similar to the wife test, but far more bromosexual, as they say. So yeah, man, it's great. Pick it up. That is Venom. I will have a review for this coming soon because I don't want to. That's the other thing, guys. I'm usually later on the reviews and stuff, and I'm trying to move out of reviews. I'm going to still do them, but I want to do more content that's helpful. So if you have ideas for content to be helpful, please let me know. I try to be helpful in the reviews and give these little nuggets and plant them in the center where only the real viewers will see them, like my handling for Male FX, like, how I handle Scribe and the verbal subtleties and that, social compliance things. I add those in there because they matter to me. They make the video longer and they matter to me, but we have a lot of fall off on the average viewership being about 4 minutes. So a lot of people, I think, miss that. And I hate that because I think those are the most valuable nuggets above whatever the toy is or the effect, is those verbal and psychological subtleties that, I know is somebody that works as a business owner and is in sales, that I think translate heavily to magic, but not a lot of magicians are aware of them. It's very Danny DeOrtiz as well. Like Danny's prolific on this stuff. And that's why it really gelled with me, is when I saw like, holy crap, all of this stuff can translate. Did I see Enigma yet? Yes, I have. I've seen Enigma. It's freaking great. I have not seen the latest updates. I've actually got the early incarnation of the thing. That's all I'll say. But I need to get ran through what is new and exciting on it, because Christian's made a lot of discoveries. He's been very busy. He was in the States recently doing FFFF. Or is that it? The quadruple F, whatever the fuck that's called. And he told me that there's so much into it, and we're going to get on a call here soon. And we have an interview with him coming up as well. Also, for those of you watching, we have an interview with Justin Miller coming up, Gariant Clark, Gryant Clark, however the fuck you say his name, the CEO of Illusionist. Doc Hilford, we're working on that right now. Christian Grace has been kind enough to come in as well. obviously, my I'm buddies with Peter, but he's got an extremely busy schedule. And then it's looking like we might have like Mark Lemon and, more great people. I'm trying to get Juan Carlos from Heartbeat as well to circle back to Hungry and Hungover. Your question. My second I saw Heartbeat, I knew for a fact it's what I needed. So I love the effect, and I love those intimate effects like that anyway. But I've already got ideas for it. If you know Pulse by Bill Montana, you can pass over your heartbeat and get that moment, and then you can say, do you want to take this a little bit deeper? And what you can do is actually synchronize. They'll reach up and take their pulse. You start the heartbeat, or they even just take your pulse on your wrist, and I can synchronize, and they can kinesthetically. So it's like kinesthetic and it's visual people watching, because you'll see like you see in Heartbeat, you see people go from. Same thing with this. You can basically synchronize their pulse beat to the heartbeat or to your pulse. Absolutely 100% works. It's how humans are built. It's beautiful. It's absolutely a beautiful effect. And you can do it with the whole room as well if you want to. It really is fantastic. But you're going to love it. I'm excited for mine. I haven't seen what it is or anything yet, so I'm really interested to see like what's the workings for this. As somebody that's done a lot of like this, like suggestion, jumping pulse, the pulse effect from Bill Montana I mentioned here. I'm super excited to see like what this is all about, because I'm sure it's going to be fucking fantastic. Like I've heard so much from so many different people. Like amazing. Can't wait. Yeah, Enigma is going to be a worker. Trust me. I wish I could say more. I'm kind of sworn to secrecy through Christian. It's a worker. I think that's a lax statement, is saying it's a worker. It's a thing of beautiful, true and beautiful, truly terrifying beauty. I think that's a good way to put it. It's a thing of terrifying beauty. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. So let me see here. I'm just kind of, I'm glad we're having this discussion. So yeah, it's not a suggestion for Pulse. Have you read The Bridge? Yes, I have. The Bridge is interesting. Okay, because it's a suggestion effect. It is. And if you take it and I've used it, and I've had 100% success rate with it. It's a good thing for follow-up, weirdly enough, in the right context. Because this is the thing you don't understand too, folks, and you got to be careful of some of this stuff. There's a lot more mental illness out there that's just gone unchecked, and it's unknown by us than there has been at any other time in history. And reason why I say that is the Bridge is scary because already, I'm sure if you do strong mentalism effects, like sometimes people will like send you Textile Blue going, you've influenced me, you've put something in my head, and then it's fucking weird. And you're just like, no, dude, I just looked at what you wrote down. It's all right. And the truth of the matter is there's more weirdos like that out there than ever. So you've got to be responsible with something like The Bridge. But it's really cool because what you can do and what the effect that he kind of goes into, if he gets Penguin Live, there's everything in there, but it's that Penguin Live, there's some decent stuff in there, but it was a disaster in my opinion, because I just don't think Bill was the right person to present his work. And I love Bill. He's actually a very nice guy. He lives about 2 hours away from here. But I just don't think he was the best person to present it. And, his work is in my hands, for example. I absolutely have a ton of fun with like Pulse and The Bridge. But the idea of The Bridge basically is this: you might have somebody do a ritual, like, in his original write-up, it was very esoteric because he works in psychic fairs a lot. But the idea is, hey, what I want you to do is you write something down, put this card Take this card, put it directly in your pocket, and tonight when you go home, put this under your pillow, and I am going to appear to you in the dream and reveal to you what it is you're sleeping on, what it is you've written on there. I'm going to come to you and reveal. Now, and that's all it was initially, or he used his example as a playing card because he was obviously playing to magicians. But the idea of it is just putting a ritual and a suggestion together to appear in somebody's dreams. Now, it gets really powerful when you have them say, write something down. They go through the ritual, and then obviously you text them the next day or call them and say, hey, I saw you last night. I saw you last night. Do you remember? And if they say no, and they say they didn't have the dream, you've got the ultimate out of saying, yeah, most people don't remember their dreams, but I remember it clearly. You and I were in a misty bridge. You came across, and you were thinking of Gerald. An even more powerful thing is this, I think. I think that if you tell them, you don't say you're going to reveal what is they're thinking in the dream, which that's one way to go, but it's more of, you're going to have a dream tonight. You're going to imagine seeing me in the dream. In that dream, when you have this, you're going to tell me, I want you to tell me what it is you've got written here. And if this has worked, and we've connected in this weird sphere, I'll be able to tell you what it is the next day. So then you call them the next day and you tell them what it is. How cool is that? It's great. So yeah, that's the bridge. I like it. I love it. I haven't done it in a long time, but you gotta be careful because if you get somebody that you don't know is cuckoo, but they are cuckoo, this is the ultimate, that's like the ultimate effect to basically make them think that you've put something in their head, or you've invaded their privacy. So use it sparingly. All really great mentalism, use it sparingly. Like that's why one of the reasons, and a lot of what I do anymore is, I've switched a lot back to doing coins and things like that, and doing, more visual routines. And I absolutely, there we go. Let's hang that there. Get that out of the way. Boop. And I absolutely love hard-hitting mentalism too, but it's just we're in a world anymore where people's attention spans are short. I know I don't personally have the super dynamics basically to hold somebody's attention, for, there we go, 20 or 30 minutes basically to do a series of mentalism. But I also only typically will do one thing. And if I do one thing, I'll gauge the person to figure out what it is. Like, this is a golden one right here. I did a review for this and not many people watched it, but this guy, Flight, is absolutely great. And I've got a tip on this I'll give to just people that are on this test call. If you have Flight, I want to keep it on my keys. I want it to be EDC. I don't want this thing on its own. And I've struggled a lot where I've almost lost my Flight gimmick multiple times because of the way it's made. I figured this tip out, right? What you do is, first off, you buy one of these because that presents a really nice display for when that ring's on there. For those of you that don't know what Flight is, the idea of Flight is this is the most simple and direct ring flight you've ever seen. Spectator, you borrow a spectator's ring, you hold it, they grab hold it, and you grab your wrist, you reach into your pocket and you grab out your keys. They hold on to you give them the keys and they hold on to it. You put them between their hands, and then you show the rings vanished and it's appeared on your key ring. Right? This is a great effect. Really, really great. Like stunningly great. Look at that visual with that rotating, thing. And it looks really nice. They can give it a tug and it's, on there. And then, you obviously can come over here. You can obviously take it and go, okay, this is always the worst part, is getting this off. Let me find this. There we go. Yeah. And you pull it off like that. So a really great effect. What I found out that hedges the bets on this so that you're not going to lose your gimmick as much is, one, adding this guy on there, which I suggest in the video. That's nothing new. But two, it's the sequence you put them on. So you have your key ring like that, and it's on, in this case, the right side, or on the side of the black key. And then this guy goes boop like that next to that. what that just prevents it from coming loose or anything. I mean, even if it gets like that, it prevents them coming loose. I found that to be a lifesaver with keeping my flight gimmick basically and not losing it or whatever. And it's still a great way to have it. And then you've got some cover here from the keys too when you hand that key out. So random thing, but good. I don't know why I got into that. I put a card magnet to my smart idea, Flawless. Touche, my friend. Too friggin' shay. Touche. Flawless. His Penguin lecture does cover the bridge. It's, I think it's the easiest barrier it's the easy way to enter into it. That Penguin Live again, though, while I think the material is great, like I said, this wasn't presented in the way that I would like. When I hate it because I think it really put a bad mark on like Bill's overall perception by the Magic community, even though he's fucking brilliant when it comes to coming up with some of this stuff, like Pulse, the bridge, the Mystic Orb. The Mystic Orb's a big one that no one pays attention to, and it's friggin' great. And he just briefly kind of touches on it, and he's not like the most dynamic performer, but he's not working in dynamic performance situations. He's working at psychic fairs where less is a lot more, right? And that's kind of a big differentiating factor you need to understand going in. If you're going in looking for a magic trick, you're not going to find that. If you're looking for a really cool moment, subtlety, something grander and bigger that you have to use with a little bit of responsibility, I'd say too, that lecture's got some good stuff in it. Just understand that's not going to be presented in the best. You have to use your imagination a bit, in my opinion. Does that make sense? Does that kind of translate? Do I do card magic? I will answer that question with another question. Does the Tin Man have a sheet metal cock? Yes, I do. This is currently, I love these guys. That's one of I need to get more of these. I love the Fraser Parker Elusus deck. I've got tons of these as well, these Death Malts. These have become my EDC recently. The thing is, when I need a Mark deck, I carry this. When I need just a standard deck, I carry this. I love my cards. I've got literally a brick of these Death Malts over here. I also love using these because they're just so iconic. They're terrible to use for like real lay people because, to an extent, they're terrible to use for real lay people. They're more of like a jamming kind of deck. I love them though, and they feel great. That Cardamundi stock that the B9 that basically I think Illusion is created with Cardamundi, which is actually the stock for all of my decks I've got now, with the exception of, my regular rider back bicycle here that I have for doing the gimmicked version of Any Thought of Card to Pocket, is all there. I mean, I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind having some more cohorts again though, because I really love, this is not a cohort deck. This is an Albo edition cohort deck. I would love to have some more cohorts because I love to do Albo. I kind of wish Albo was available in more backs and stuff. But Albo is such a friggin' good trick. Like, it's the only torn and restored card I've ever seen where I went, that I would do. I hate torn and restored card. I really do. I despise the premise to the fullest. That, and I also, with the rider back deck too, it's a good one to pull out is Vanish. Vanish is just so good. Oh, you caught it, Hungry and Hungover. That's one of my favorite lines in Trailer Park Boys. Yep. Yeah. Listen, dude, just don't come into that Flawless. Just don't come into that Penguin Live thinking you're here to get tricks. Go in and harvest ideas and concepts, and understand they're not going to be presented to the fullest of their capabilities, in my honest opinion, right? And I think you'll avoid disappointment that way, and I think you'll get a lot more than a lot of people did, just who kind of dished it off and said, but there's no way to do and it's like, dude, not every lecture has to be giving you card tricks and stuff, right? It doesn't have to give you a fucking way to, make a card appear back on top, or vanish a coin in the cleanest and like most visual way. Not everything has to do that, right? Not everything has to have this shit. It can just give you an idea and inspire you. Most fooling thing I saw. Most fooling thing I saw at Penguin Lives. Wow, okay. I would definitely say, if you want to see like an honest, really big like reaction from me, and I wasn't even on stage, I was in the audience. I would say sorry, I'm just reading this thing. I would say the Peter is. I hate giving it to Turner. He's fooled me so many times. It's hard. I would say that it would have to be the point in the Peter Turner 2 live lecture where he's doing the variation of Lift. That fooled the living pants off of me. And I immediately went out and took out and started doing it. I still do Lift. I really love that version of Lift. Midas Touch, the first time I saw it, was just like incredible as well. So yeah. Let me see here. Suilu. One of your reviews talked about hypnosis. Based on the advice, I looked into the works of Jacqueline. How did you approach your first hypnotic sessions? Okay, I'll tell you what, this is a big thing. I was about 16, 17 years old. I failed 1,000 times, and I tried on everybody. It's you really just have to get into a rhythm of it, and you have to it's like what I was given on, and there's an earlier thing in this live where I was talking about how to anchor states of certainty. You have to have a 10 certainty. How hypno essentially works is a lot like sales, right? You have to get them a level 10 certainty about you, about however you're framing up the suggestion effect. In this case, if you're doing straight hypno, you have to give them that level 10 of certainty that they're hypno, and a level 10 of certainty that you are a expert, qualified. You must be sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and be seen as an expert in this. So friends and family members are not always the best way to go. If you want to get around that, there's a really simple way to get around kind of that barrier. And you still have to have that certainty, but a magic trick is a great place to introduce hypno. So let's say, for example, here, you have your standard effect. Let's see, you've got your card, you put it in their hand, you have them put their other hand on top, and then you just begin to say, I want you to focus on the feeling of that card. Focus on the card pushing on your bottom hand and your top hand. Feel your hand pushing back. That's good. And I want you to notice what happens when I do this underneath. And just bring your hand under there. I can't bend that way. Under their hand. Make a motion like that. There you go. What does that feel like? And you can begin to suggest that it's heating up. You can begin to suggest whatever. The thing is, if there is an ounce of uncertainty in your voice, unless they're super hyper suggestible, it's not going to work. But you can begin to test that way. I got into hypno because I was doing a Jeff Lotta's 4 coins a spectator's hand, which if you don't know that one, it's a gym, and you make coins go one at a time, and you drop it in their hand, boom, drop it in their hand, the rest, and for the final coin, you make it appear in their closed fist. Now, this is just like any other coins across, essentially. But what I would do is I would do the last vanish. I would use that. I love this old subtlety from Silver Dream that Justin Miller had, where he'd apparently break the coin, have the visual with the nails click, and then he'd show like that. But what I'd do is I'd suggest, watch, you're going to feel that coin. It's going to vanish down to a particle, so it's super tiny. And right between the pore in your hand, you're going to feel this, like it's going through the skin and the bone. And feel that. And what they'll do is, if you use a suggestion test, you feel it going through. If they go, whoa, yeah, I feel that. They're hyper suggestible. They're perfect. At that point, I would stand back and say, now watch. In a moment, I click my fingers. It's going to feel like, have you ever seen a popcorn kernel pop before? It's going to feel like that happens in your hand. Watch. 3, 2, 1. You'll see me go, whoa. And then they open up their hand and do that. I was doing that and just using the verbal I was young. I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, using that verbal subterfuge there, basically, to just apparently create a bigger effect, because I knew they'd get a reaction when they opened the hand, but this is just a presentational premise. But I began to notice people would feel it. And I remember one day there was a guy called Josh Page. I still remember Josh clear as day when this happened. And he said, I just shown him this. And he had reacted positively, and he stopped and he thought, went, okay. So you're using a little bit of suggestion there, huh? And I thought, what the hell's suggestion? So I started digging down the rabbit hole. Didn't find a whole lot because there wasn't a lot out there at the time. And then ultimately one day I was watching a rerun of Jimmy Kimmel's The Man Show on the early version of like HBO On Demand. And I had it somewhere. I think I still have it on the desk. Here it is. And I saw the amazing Tom Silver do his Hypno Act. Tom Silver is a great person. He was a big student of Orman McGill, and took care of him later in life, from what I understand. And I found a book on the site called The Magic Warehouse, which I think is still around, and I ordered this. This guy right here, Practical, come on, focus, there you go. Practical Hypnotism. And there's some interesting stuff in here, but it's none of the stuff that's really, when you read hypnotism at first, you just think, there's no way that's going to work, especially if you have a magician mindset, because we want everything mechanical, and, to put it bluntly, we're kind of lazy as magicians. We want to be mechanical. We don't want to have an inner game or, have level 10 certainty. But when I read this, I looked through it. I remember looking at this, for example, or drawing the subject backwards. Here we go. And really, this is the framework in it from the later that Jacqueline refined into Reality is Plastic, which I recommend you read. So, for example, he had this routine there. Says it had this idea in here for the first test. And it goes into, keep instructions strictly private. Oh, okay. This is an old book. That's not what I mean. That's not what I wanted there. So yeah, he goes into, okay, this is basically just setting the groundwork. Okay, the first test. So he has a test in there where he says he has people put their finger up like that, put their hand on like that, and just let their arm go relaxed. And the idea is to suggest that they can't lift that hand, or that hand's no longer there. So I read that and thought, okay, how does it work? I don't get it. And it's literally like what he says. You're just, with utter conviction, saying it. There's not a lot of physiological methodology in this, which that's a lot of traditional hypno. You don't have traditional physiological stuff. But, okay. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you can also use and lead in with something related to hypnosis that looks like hypnosis that isn't. Really good one if you want one that's cards and kind of fits into what you're doing and uses either a gimmick or without a gimmick that you probably already have. I would recommend going on Patrick Redford's site. Let's see if I can find this. There we go. Let's see if he still has Glim available. Glim is the effect. And it is really, really smart. And again, it's one of the, or you can find on his Penguin Live lecture, he covers some of it as well. But the book has a lot more stuff in it. So you can either buy his first Penguin Live lecture, which has a lot of cool stuff in it. So I would, honestly, maybe that's the better way to go. But also, if you want the deeper stuff, more than just the surface, he kind of touches in his Penguin Live, then check that out. I just sent it across right now. You'll like that. Obviously, you want to delay here, so you probably are going to see that link pop up before I say what that link is. So yeah. There you go. First perfect good, but I still never hit that wish you were here routine. Everyone thinks different landscapes. Oh, well, brother, for wish you were here, I've had a lot of success with it. I think it's all about getting the person to a relaxed state. I'll tell you what, I've done that before too. And what you basically, it's kind of funny. I remember I've had some people go for just stupid things, like a pot of gold is what one of them said. And I'm I literally looked at him and said, I remember this is not the way to handle this, by the way. Do not follow my example here, but I went, a pot of gold? How the fuck is that a landscape? And they're like, oh, it's just what came to mind. I don't, and don't ever handle it like that. Just go, great. That tells me everything I need to know about you. You're going to love, you're going to be great for this. Let me just do this. And you can go into a reading if you want based on what they say. You can go into an effect, you name it. To keep on the hypno bits, my necklace here is what's called a pendulum. I'm not sure how many of you know pendulums. They've kind of been a lot less popular than they used to be. This is a pendulum necklace that I have. And the pendulum is absolutely a godsend to get people into altered states in a fun, entertaining way. And, this thing has really stood the test of time. I mean, pendulums go all the way back to the times of Mesopotamia, folks. And these are great. And I have a pendulum routine I do and I love. There's a lot of good pendulum stuff out there. If you go to what's it called? Bill Cushman's Tri-Bill is an interesting one. There's a lot of good pendulum stuff in that. Don't know where you get that from anymore. I will say I would not recommend buying anything from the Dirty Bird Live just because I don't recommend buying anything from them in general, unless you absolutely have to, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, pendulums are great for another barrier, another good entry point for hypno. And I found that rather than carry a pendulum around in a bag or something like that, if I just wear it as a necklace, it's cool, right? And it looks nice and it functions nice. Cool. So hopefully we got some value provided people there. I'm not sure how long we've been going. How long have we been going now? How long have I been going? Oh my God, over an hour. You guys have spent like over an hour with me? My God, thank you. I just got on here to test this. Did not expect to have this like really cool live session with you guys. We're at 72 minutes. Wow. Bless you all. Like I said, this is just meant to be a test. I'm gonna have to keep this up on here now because I guess there's some value imparted in here. So yeah, for those of you, if you go back, those like anyone interested in hypno, if you go back and listen to just scrub through after this, whenever you want to, and there's you'll see something like an Amazon page. Like here, I'll pull it back up here. Pull it back up. So you'll see there's a scene in here where I pulled this up, this stuff called Boom Boom Nasal Stick. And there's a really great tip in there for those of you that are lacking in confidence and everything and want to get peak states because peak states, and it's really for hypno, it's an inner game, same for magic in general. But with this stuff, you can anchor the best feeling possible using a process called aurifractory anchoring. If you look up aurifractory anchoring, which is aurifractory being your sense of smell and taste, mostly smell, to anchor a peak state. But you want to carry this on you until you hit a peak state naturally, and then you inhale this stuff as a very distinct smell to it, and it can trigger those states in you really well. I know it sounds very artsy-fartsy and new agey, but I promise you it is something that works, and it's something very, very serious, deep level thinking, in my opinion, that comes from the sales world and in more particular, Jordan Belfort of the Wolf of Wall Street. So yeah, hopefully there's some value there. Oops. Again, guys, just on here, again, testing this, coming in for Zoom. It looks like things are looking all right. I don't know why. It feels like maybe that's just because of my stream. What's my quality? Oh, no wonder. It's only at 720p. How do I up that quality coming through this? Let's see. Preferences. Because yeah, I don't want no 720 frickin' p. Dang, I wish there was it looks like there's going to be a little bit of moosh quality compared to what I like to do in my videos on these live interviews. So guys, to give you an idea too, if you're watching this, what we've got coming up for the interview side, I've got I've got Geraint, whatever. I need to ask him how to perfectly pronounce his name. Known him for like a year or two and still can't pronounce his name worth a crap. G from Illusionist, the CEO. I've got him coming up for an interview next Friday. We are going to do that live. It's going to be early in the morning, 7 a.m. EST, because he's got a very busy schedule. I like the idea of doing it live. And that's why I'm on here for, is getting ready for that. We've got one with Justin Miller as well. We're going to do that late on Sunday at 7 p.m. And, the playback will be available. But again, I'm working with other people's schedules and also my busy schedule, which I should be busy as can be right now. But, I've obviously distracted myself here. I've got a Geek Vape too, man. It's just what I like. It's what feels good to me. I love my Geek Vape. It's one of the only ones that holds up to how terrible I am to electronics, and all that stuff. Guys, what else do we have? We have Christian Grace coming up too. By the way, I've got a review for the PetaPad coming up. And I'm looking forward to that. We did the live unboxing. It's unlisted, unfortunately, which is kind of a drag. To give you an idea why it's unlisted, and one of the problems I think we have in the Magic community, a merry band of toy collectors came together and decided to be Job from Arrested Development and scream and whinge and cry because I did an unboxing of the PetaPad and showed what the functionality's like on a live, where we had 3 viewers and I had optimized everything to go beam towards magicians. So moral of the story, boys and girls, if you're out there, this is usually a boys club here, don't be fucking Jobs, guys. You know what I mean? Like, the truth is, the more you try to fight against the current of where things are going, you're going to exhaust yourself. And you're also going to just straight up ruin people's days for no reason. Did my chat message from before get through? What chat message? Which one? Since we're off a little bit on side. But yeah, I'm all about preserving secrets, but at the same time, guys, the truth is, I want you all to kind of bear in mind that people really don't care about how we do this stuff as much as we think they do. And I know that's a hard thing to hear, but oh no, they want to know how it's done. Bro, the more you worry about that shit, the less you're going to get done. And let's be honest here. Are you Darren Brown? Are you Dynamo? They're not going to be searching, how John Smith does, or how Jacob Michaels does the floating ring. If they Google that, if they search that, people just don't care. And I think that we think people care a lot more than they do. It's the same reason, to give you a case in point example. If you type in how make a coin vanish, probably what's going to come up is a tutorial. That was terrible because of the ring. Getting used to these. You're going to find probably a tutorial on the French drop. And yet I use the French drop to fool people every single time I perform, right? And why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think videos that have 2 million plus views on them, like how to vanish a coin and unveiling the French drop, it's been in every children's magic book you can get. Like, literally, I've had people say, oh yeah, I've got a magic book from when I was a kid at home, and I go, oh cool, I'll open up, and there is, if you try to rejoin Express or don't. I just don't like the Torn Restored plot in general, with the exception, and I'm not even just plugging it because I was involved in it, and I filmed it with Amar and with Miller, but Albo is just the best one. I mean, for me, it's like, why the hell are we tearing, restoring a card and leaving it as? At least this, you get this impossible object at the end, which is just, makes it a real banger. I mean, for God's sake, do I have one? Yeah, this one. Yeah, here we go. Actually, this one, that is Michael Amar's MA right there, from one of the recordings that we did for elbow. But having this as impossible object instead of just like, look, and it's restored, and it's hand on, take it, please. Oh my god, guys, pardon my French, but who gives a flying? I don't know. I'm very. People argue with me on this, and I just don't like the plot. I just don't get it. When I see it, I'm like, woo. That feels like a party trick. I don't know. It's just how I feel. I'm not always right. There are some people, and also I think it might be my performing ability as well. But it's just never a plot that appealed to me until this guy came along. And one of the main reasons it appealed, or the other one, which I've got the gimmick somewhere, Torn and Amazed. I can't do it because I don't have a cohorts deck on hand right now. But Torn and Amazed, which is Michael's lead-in for Albo, and his streamline handling is just like super good too, because it's just a quickie. That's the other thing. We make these 4-piece restorations, which no one loves Magic more than magicians. And magicians like magic fooling shit. Lay people, dude, they like simple shit. They like heartbeat, where you just have a moment, They like things that are different than what we like. And if we just find what it is they like and focus on that, we'll be a lot more successful, and we'll have a lot better taste in Magic. And if we quit focusing on us being so damn special or being tricksters or whatever, and we make it an experience, a moment of something versus a, look how clever I am. Starbucks card, a KFC card. You fuse them together. Oh, that sounds cool. I like that a little bit more. Very deep emotional mentalism release that you'd recommend looking into. Good question. Good question. Good question. Deep and emotional mentalism release that you would recommend. That's hard. I think I do have one. I would recommend you, I think that at notdockhilford.com, I think that's the address. Let's see if I can, again, let's pull up notdoc.com. Uh-oh. Whoa-oh. Is this site down? Domain is disabled. Okay, Doc's site is down. Huh. Interesting. He had just come back too. So we'll have to see. But whenever I know he's working on getting it back. I would say Heartbeat Illusions, Deep. Yeah, Fedon Balik for sure. I don't think it's available anymore, but I have Phasma. I don't have Orion. I want to get it. It's just, it's hard to justify $500 on a book, even if it is like the best. I would say, yeah, Fedon Balik. I would also say Dead or Alive with Doc Hilford, which you can find in Monster Mentalism too, but he's got a much better update in his website, I believe. Because this is released and made like 10 years ago, and essentially, I followed him for that long, basically to, see this play out. I love Dead or Alive. I actually went back to perform it recently because now I've got this pendulum that I can just wear around my neck, because having to carry something or borrow somebody's necklace and put the ring on it or create a ring on a string thing, and now it's just there and it looks mystical and it's framed perfectly. All that fun jazz. Let's see here. I'm a little blown out, so there we go. Let's tone down that a bit. A little more dark and moody. There we go. I will say, those of you out there, if you haven't seen Argent yet, let's see if I can do a good one here. Oh, man. Yep, in that case, I've messed it up. Let's give her a shot. All right, so there we go. The idea of like this, it's like Binaural's thing where he's like makes the coin travel from one hand to the other, but obviously doesn't throw it across like that. It travels invisibly. Oh man, I'm messing it up. I feel bad that I feel like I'm giving away Arjun's secret because I'm doing so bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop on that one while I'm ahead. Shit, that's embarrassing as can be. Oh man, needs some more work. That stuff at Argent is super hard, but it's super good. Just so you know, super good, super good. We got 6 watching now. Wow, I'm kind of impressed. 6 people give a shit about what I'm doing, just testing my camera, and we've turned this into like a Q&A, I guess. Happy to have you all. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. What's going on in your world today? How can I best support you? And again, I'm just going to dive back in here too into settings and try and figure out this issue here with that watermark that I want to get off of this. So add watermark. Okay. Again, sorry guys, I'm just making sure, seeing if I can figure out how to take this zoom watermark off here, which it doesn't look like there's a good way to do that. Yes, Mark, this is live, buddy. We're on delay. Can't believe that we have so many people actually want to tune into this now. It's kind of cool. It's gone from like from 0 to 6 and 5, and it's not a lot, but dude, it makes me feel good that people actually give a shit about this. Thank you so much. This is just a test of the camera. It's turned into, doing more of a live. I'm really trying to again get this. Aloha from Hawaii. Thank you, brother. Oh, thanks, man. Review on the light and heavy Sharpie. Yeah, light and heavy Sharpie is interesting. I think it's a great training wheels for the right people. I just don't honestly feel like I need it. The other day, I brought it out for funsies and tested it out, and I found like me personally with the gimmick, I was less successful with the gimmick because I'm so used to doing it just normal, and without the gimmick, without all that stuff. I know that sounds weird. It's just one of those things, man. I guess I'm better suited to stick to the real, stick to being air quotes real more often than not. That's just what I'm realizing more and more. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in here. This is really cool. I like the fact that people are coming in and saying hi and asking questions, and hopefully having a good discussion. And again, just trying to get this Zoom logo. This all started because I'm just trying to test this feed out. So we've got interviews coming up with live mystery artists, and just testing to see how to get rid of this Zoom watermark. Let's see. Again, just searching here. I'm supposed to do so much work today, and I have not got any of it done pretty much because I went into this instead. Uh-huh. Okay, here we go. Settings. We're gonna go to, let's see, let's type in your watermark. Yep. All right. No, shit, that's not, you're not gonna do it. Yeah, no, I don't like that. Okay, so turn that off. It's not the watermark I'm trying to get rid of. Trying to get rid of the Zoom logo watermark like you guys can see on the stream here. I just don't want that on there. It's distracting, and there's better usages of that space. And I've lost track of my YouTube screen. So where is that at? Here we go. Didn't quite catch it. Okay. Oh, saves me $30. Yeah. If you're already doing hypno, it's great. If you're a magician getting into hypno, though, dude, get the light and heavy pin, because at the end, like I said, you've got it like an Omni pin, where you go, I'm gonna make it heavier, and they're going, nope, it's not getting heavier. It's not getting heavier. And maybe that's because you don't have level 10 certainty about what you're doing. Maybe it's because you just get that person, like just like in sales, there are buyers and just not buyers. You can bring them to level 10 certainty in all the pillars that you need to get them converted, to get them sold. But there are some people out there that straight up aren't buyers, and that's okay. That happens. They're out there, man. But with something like light and heavy pin, what's good is if they go nope, you go yep, actually yes it is, and you drop it. It sounds louder. Everyone else can confirm it's heavier than a normal Sharpie, and you made it a magic effect. So that they can't win. It's a good backup game, basically. But it'll help you get your suggestion going if you feel you need that. So it's not a bad effect. I think the instructions on it are pretty terrible. Like, I don't know what. I think Wayne Fox. I have a lot of respect for Wayne Fox. I think he's a great, tremendous performer. But I just don't think. I don't think he should have filmed it as bad as he does. Is that bad as he did? Oh, so all right, guys, I have a call that came in here. So let me quickly tie up with everything here. If the interviews are pre-recorded, you can just add, yeah, but I want to keep just the live stream also as an option on here. I'm just trying to figure out, see if I can take this Zoom logo off. And yeah, I understand that, but it's just want to not have it on here in general, basically. So yeah, man. Anyway, I know we're on a delay. I'm gonna go ahead and end this one for now. And I just have to go do a call my buddy. I know we're setting up to go foraging, I believe, this weekend, and I just need to make sure I get that all my I's dotted and T's crossed, I guess. So, unsubscribe to your channel. Please know when we have a live again. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the best way to let people know is, instead of springing the surprise. Maybe it would be, I'll research how to do that most effectively for you all, because I appreciate that you guys enjoy this live and that it's useful. Thank you for that. That warms my heart, like, really, not just saying that is like a hokey thing. It makes me very happy to hear that people are getting value from this. So anyway, I'm gonna depart here, guys. Thank you for all of you that tuned in. This was just meant to be a test, and it ended up being really, really great. So now I just have to figure out how to close this live off. Now that I think about it, like, wait, where's my end live button and everything? So let me see. Oh my gosh, you can tell I haven't done this a lot at all. I'm struggling. I can't find how to end this. Let's see. Where is my end live button? Oh, I bet you it's in Zoom. That's probably it. All right, guys, like I said, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I hope you got some value from this. And I'll leave this up, since apparently this was very, very valuable for some folks on here. So hopefully it's valuable for more.